You've probably heard about Dallas because of its iconic cowboy culture, superb Tex-Mex cuisine, and flourishing art scene. I bet one thing you won't be able to guess is the insane weather conditions there. Believe it or not, Dallas has a long history of dangerous natural disasters. Of all the U.S. metro areas, Dallas has the highest risk of natural disasters according to a 2011 report from Sperling's Best Places. The Dallas-Plano-Irving area has been plagued by almost every type of disaster. Although there has been a history of significant natural disasters in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, citizens should be ready for possible windy weather. Let's start by talking about the devastating tornado that destroyed the city back in the 1900s. The F3 tornado that struck Oak Cliff almost 70 years ago is a significant event in Dallas's history. The tornado was the deadliest twister in Dallas history, killing 10 people, including 3 siblings from the same family, and devastating parts of Oak Cliff, Arlington Park, and West Dallas. The tornado tore through Dallas proper in the middle of an afternoon when visibility was near perfect, making the number of eyewitnesses remarkable. Nearly everyone who lived in Oak Cliff at the time remembers what they were doing. Around 4:15 p.m., a funnel cloud started hovering above the intersections of Camp Wisdom and Polk Streets. The sky, by all accounts, was green. From there, it made a north turn into Oak Cliff. Houses began losing roofs near Colorado Boulevard and Winnetka Avenue. It touched down around Singleton Boulevard, but Arlington Park and the West Dallas area near Love Field saw the most devastation. There are thousands of photographs and hours of film preserving just about the entire life cycle of the tornado. In the past, history has been more unpredictable than we expected. Mark Doty, the author of Lost Dallas and the Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Dallas, has always had a fascination with tornadoes, particularly with this one. One woman, Susan Dortch, shared her story that she was practicing for tryouts with the Sunset High School drill team, the Bisonettes, when the tornado hit. No one told her it was coming, so all the girls ran to the front steps and watched it hit power poles and lift things as it traveled on. Several Oak Cliff locals write of finding refuge in nearby establishments. When the paperboy rode by and yelled, "Tornado!" Linda Wiley and her mother, who lived on Rosemont Street, took cover in a neighboring corner store. Linda Wiley recalls how many of her neighbors walked around in shock after the tornado had passed, surveying the damage. Robert Strickland and Faye King are 2 Oak Cliff residents who have vivid memories of the neighborhood in the hours and days after the storm passed. They remember hearing of a cowboy boot leaning against the side of one house, and the person who picked it up supposedly found a foot inside it. For her part, King remembers driving through West Dallas to see that the only parts of homes still standing were the bathroom shower stalls. According to most media, the 1957 tornado has never gotten the attention it deserves. Surprisingly, even more people didn't lose their lives to the tornado since so many people watched the tornado hit and were outside their homes. Another one of such tragedies struck an area Mayfest of Dallas in 1995. When 10,000 people visited Fort Worth's annual Mayfest in 1995, they had no idea of the storm that was about to hit. A supercell struck a 50-mile radius, causing a quick and strong hailstorm that reached Fort Worth, resulting in extensive injuries and shocking damage totaling $2 billion. Hailstones up to 4 inches in diameter battered many unprepared people. Some people sought refuge in their cars, suffering cuts from smashed windscreens. Those who were caught outside suffered severe bruises, and at least 90 people required hospital care as a result of their injuries. Although there were no fatalities from the hailstorm, the accompanying flash flooding claimed 14 lives. Nowadays, the Mayfest is prepared to handle such an event. Volunteers from the Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service temporarily set up and operate a weather command center complete with antennas, radios, and computers that connect to emergency teams and city police, allowing the site to be cleared in 30 minutes. If we talk about one of the recent happenings of natural disasters in the city, it will be the flooding in 2022 when devastating thunderstorms hit Dallas. Thunderstorms hit the Dallas-Fort Worth area in August 2022, causing massive amounts of rain in the span of 18 hours. Streets and homes were submerged by the floods, even forcing some drivers to abandon their vehicles in high water. A 60-year-old woman died in Dallas County when her vehicle was swept away. Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins declared a state of disaster in the region based on preliminary damage assessments, allowing the area to use available state resources to respond. Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to increase the readiness level of the state's Emergency Operations Center to support communities impacted by the flooding. The flash floods, which in some cases were considered life-threatening, prompted rescue efforts. The Dallas Fire Department alone had responded to hundreds of car crashes and other water-related emergencies since 6 p.m. on the day of rainfall. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for North Texas and Central Texas through the day. The heaviest rainfall was shifting into Central Texas, with Central Texas seeing 2 to 4 inches of rainfall per hour and could see considerable flooding if heavy rains persisted into the evening. Some parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area recorded more than 10 inches of rainfall, with the east side of Dallas seeing 15.1 inches of rainfall. Rainfall amounts of at least 14.6 inches in East Dallas qualified as a 1 in 1,000 year flood, meaning that in any given year it had a 0.1% chance of happening. Before the heavy rainfall, some regions, including the Dallas area, had been in an extreme drought for months. However, the wetter weather in the following week had not been enough to end the state's drought, as drier conditions continued into the fall. Climate scientists found that the rise in average temperatures strongly affects extreme precipitation events by increasing the intensity of rainfall during storms. Dallas City might have been hit by all the other natural disasters, but it hadn't been hit by an earthquake. However, that is about to change. A study has found that the majority of faults underlying the Fort Worth Basin are as sensitive to changes in stress that could cause them to slip as those that have generated earthquakes recently. Researchers with the University of Texas at Austin's Bureau of Economic Geology, Stanford University, and Southern Methodist University have created a comprehensive map of more than 250 faults totaling more than 1,800 miles in combined length, some of which extend under highly populated areas in the Dallas-Fort Worth region. One such study found that the faults are relatively stable if left undisturbed, but that wastewater injection, a practice common during oil and gas operations, significantly increases the potential of the faults to slip if not managed properly. Dallas-Fort Worth saw a major increase in seismic activity from 2008 to 2015 as oil and gas operations increased. Hennings said that people should be aware that the nature of the fault system means that many areas are susceptible to potentially hosting earthquakes, and that an upturn in oil and gas production that results in increased deep wastewater disposal could also bring an upturn in quakes if not properly managed. The study included data from seismometers and pointed out that the strongest earthquakes in the area have been magnitude 4, which is much less powerful than the major earthquakes that hit the surrounding areas. However, the people of Dallas were warned that the region needs to prepare for the hazard. The study provided key information to allow the public, cities, state, federal government, and industry to understand the potential hazards and to design effective public policies, regulations, and mitigation strategies. What are your thoughts about all the potential hazards of living in Dallas City? Tell us what you think in the comments below. If you're a Dallas native and were affected by these natural disasters, share your stories with us. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave.